for staying with us. We have one for the Trekkies next, and my favourite character from Star Trek.
Yes, Lisa is at Comic Con Ireland. Lisa, who have you got?
Well, absolutely amazing here at Comic-Con. It's been super. I've been having such a ball. Look at everybody behind me here, all ready to meet their favourite stars. And this man, Walter Koenig, has been very, very generous in taking the time out to speak with us here on Weekend Day. How are you, Walter? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm doing well, thank you. I'm thoroughly enjoying my first visit to Dublin. I've been looking forward to this trip for many years, and I'm glad that it finally was able to eventuate.
Well, we're absolutely thrilled because there's so many Star Trek fans around the globe, but especially in Ireland. And I know it holds a special place in your heart as well because you've travelled to Comic-Con in the US many, many times, Star Trek being the longest running franchise as well. So to be here in Ireland means a lot.
Well, great. You know, I grew up in a Russian-Irish neighborhood, you know, where all my friends were either Irish or Russian or German, and back in the 40s. And Peter McGee was my closest friend when I was 8 years old. And unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but if he had, he would have made sure that I'd be introduced to his cousins and aunts and uncles.
Absolutely. Now, Walter, you know, when you look at this photograph, what kind of memories does this spark for you?
I have no idea who that is.
This is you at age 23, is that right?
31.
Oh, you're 31 here. Okay.
It's not my hair.
And that is definitely not your hair. I mean, in terms of Star Trek, the fans, the series, it's so famous. Did you ever think when you were, you know, operating the machinery in the ship that this would be you now at 82 talking to me? What a long career. It's been amazing.
The answer to your first question is, of course not. Nobody did. Nobody believed that. In fact, we were on the perimeter of being canceled time and time again. You know, it was always overhanging our head that the show was not as popular as it should be, and as a consequence, we would be taken off the air. So each time we were renewed, it was quite a surprise. And then after Star Trek 1, the first motion picture, which was not terribly successful, nor terribly good, we thought for sure that our careers as Star Trek actors was over. We didn't have to worry about that in the future. That we did a second movie and a third, et cetera, until we did. Till Jimmy, Bill, and I did the Star Trek Next Generations movie, which was the 7th movie in the list. I had no idea that we would have that kind of a longevity. And then when we started doing the conventions, and of course that was really nice, and there was a lot of genuflection and disproportionate gratitude and accolades for our contribution. I certainly thought we were done when Next Generation came out.
Absolutely. Now, I have to pick up this photograph because I know people are so excited to know that, of course, there was a little bit of a rift on set with this particular man, William Shatner. Now, I know you were friends with Leonard, who is, of course, Dr. Spock, but William Shatner and yourself were actually not that close. Tell me more.
Well, William Shatner and I were not close. George Takei and William Shatner were not very close. Jimmy Doohan and William Shatner were not very close.
Why? Why?
And Jimmy Doohan, William Shatner. Because Mr. Shatner was the guiding force for the show. Without his participation, we probably would have been canceled. He was the money player, which is important, and we're all grateful for his participation on that score. On the other hand, took that a little seriously.
Okay.
And made it a little more difficult for us to feel like we were participating on a contemporary level, that we were all in this together.
Okay. Well, now we know the truth. Let's keep it all positive in terms of accolades, because you got a Hollywood Walk of Fame, big star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame back in 2012. What did that feel like, Walter?
It's very nice. When I was like 11 years old and I came to Los Angeles and I walked down Hollywood Boulevard and I saw the names, I said, oh, how nice that is. It's not going to be any part of my life, but it's so nice to see it, that it actually happened. was very pleasing. Bear in mind that I'm the last of our crew to get a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And so the excitement has dissipated over the course of several decades.
Oh, everybody loves it. Next time I'm over in Hollywood, I'm going to make sure I stand on your star, which I have to say, it's just even the accolade itself is absolutely wonderful. Now, I have to talk about, obviously, the fans. I mean, you must have been bombarded over the years, especially here in Ireland now when we get you sitting down and you can sign and get moving today. But, you must have had some excitable fans over the years. Is there any funny stories you can divulge?
Not for
breakfast television.
Not for breakfast television, no.
Do you like when the fans recognise you on the streets and ask for autographs all these years later?
Absolutely, when it happens. It happens less and less. But when it happens, yes, I am complimented by that. I have enough of an ego to enjoy the attention.
Good. Now, of course, the reboots, we've got the new Star Trek series, of course, and then there's Chris Pine as well. Have you enjoyed those new movies too?
I enjoy the Chris Pine movies very much. I think they've done very well. We have expanded the fan base for Star Trek with the introduction of these new feature films, these very expensive CGI films, so that we're embracing a larger audience, an audience that not only is involved with story and message and what we were trying to say to the world about topical issues and when it wasn't palatable to talk about them. So that was, I think, the primary dignity of Star Trek and the thing that I'm most
proud of.
Yes, exactly, most proud of. Now we're looking for explosions and CGI.
It's a bit different.
Yes, so that these fans, these are the Star Wars fans and the action-adventure fans and the Fast and Furious fans, as well as those who are the original fans who liked what we had to say and our belief that the world can be a better place
Indeed it can.
Despite our current administration.
Walter, thank you so much for your time today. I know you have a whole queue of people that are wanting to see you. Can we do the sign-off? Would that be okay? Back to studio?
What's the sign-off?
I think you know the sign. I'm going to let you do the sign-off.
Live long and prosper.
Oh, all that's left to say, it's been a wonderful day here in Comic-Con. It is back to you in studio, guys. Live long and prosper. Yeah. Thanks, Walter.
I was going to do Nanu Nanu. Remember that?
What an interesting interview with Walter.
Great interview, yeah. And the stuff about William Shatner.
You'd heard that before anyway.
Yeah,
he was very gracious in what he said. He wasn't exactly dishing the dirt, but Lisa was asking the hard questions and he answered.
But he spoke the truth, I mean, Shatner was the money guy. He was the face of the show. But I found it interesting, said that he would let us know that.
Yeah, took it seriously.
So it clearly created, and it's well documented, there was an atmosphere on that set anyway. And the fact that Lisa said, you didn't get on with him. Well, I didn't, neither did he, or him, so basically no one
And such
did.
an iconic show, and yet to still get the adoration from the fans at something like Comic-Con. And you were saying that these guys travel all over the world.
All over the world. And new fans now with the new franchises coming out.
And he loves Chris Pine.
He's a lovely man, isn't he? Him and Jared.
I thought he was gorgeous. Simon Portet, he looked like my dad.